Hello again from the Granite State. My name is Gary, and this, as you well know, is the Restoring Main Street podcast. Thank you, as always, for joining me. It's been a while. Sorry about that. But as long as you don't hold it against me, I say we move on. Got something I wanted to share with you tonight, and I don't want to make this a big, long, drawn-out deal. I know I've made that promise to you before, but we're going to try to stick to that tonight. What do I want to share? Well, I'd like to share something that, would give you a feeling of perhaps of hope. Something that would give you a plan of actions, something so you can feel like you're not sitting on the sidelines and just watching what's going on around you. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about what's going on as far as Congress, as far as, what you see happening as far as the economy and actually seeing something being potentially done about it. I mean, do you feel like it's an overwhelming tidal wave and you just have no impact on anything? Even after this last election, I think some of us were hoping that there would be a few changes so that maybe there would be a little bit of pushback, or maybe there would be some restraint so we could stop some of the crazy, and maybe we can try and attempt to fix things so we could get back to something that resembles a normal existence, where you don't feel like you've been run through the ringer and your bank account is empty at the end of the month. Well, I suggest at the very least, if you're not getting involved at the local level, at your school boards or your city council meetings and trying to affect change there, then, that's really the first place you need to start. You need to start local. You need to do all that you can locally at your arm's length to actually try and stop some of these things. And like I've said for the longest time, if you think we can all sit on the sidelines anymore, well, you're at some point, if you keep doing that, going to be talking to, a younger member of your family, with that nostalgic response. Well, son or niece, I remember when. And you know what? Do any of you want to say, I remember when, when I could have done something, when I should have done something, when I shouldn't have just sit back and watched? I'm sure most of you feel that way. And I get it. You get out and vote. Like I said, you get involved in your school boards and, attend city council meetings and pay attention to those things. But how do you affect something at the federal level beyond voting? You can call up your representatives, you can leave messages with them, but, chances are you have the same feeling that I have right now, that Washington is not listening to me. They're more concerned about, their agenda and what they want to do. So is there anything I can do that can possibly change that trajectory? I may have something. So with that in mind, why don't we start the program? Did you like that more melodramatic intro? I had to switch to a different intro for now. The software that produces the previous one that I had, that I actually liked a little bit more, that went south on me. So, let me know what you think of that intro. I got a couple others I can try too. If that doesn't suit you, maybe we'll sample something else and see what you think. So, what is it that I'm alluding to? What am I talking about? I'm trying to give you, in tonight's podcast, an idea of hope, something that you could potentially do to affect change at the federal level, to give you something to feel like you have teeth again. Like maybe somebody's listening to you, and where might be a good place to start? Well, you know what? I don't know. Let me get this in the camera shot there. do you have one of these? It's a small pocket constitution. And in the infinite wisdom of our forefathers, they actually, gave us an actual plan of redress or an action that we can take, when we feel the government isn't listening to us anymore. And what it basically is the framework to call what is known as an Article 5 Convention of States. And let me read down through part of this paragraph on Article 5 and try to give you a bit of an outline. And you're not going to have to rely just on me. I'm also going to play you a video in just a second. But for now, let me read this. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to the Constitution, or, on the application of legislatures of 2/3 of several states, shall call a convention for purposing amendments which, in either case, shall be valid to all intent and purpose as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislature of 3/4 of several states, or by the convention in 3/4 thereof, as one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by Congress. So, we do have a way to actually address what we feel is a runaway government, or a government that doesn't seem like they're listening to us. Look at the economy. Look at what you're paying for things. Do you feel like they're doing anything, absolutely anything, to restrain anything, to restore anything, to put things in, just a better situation for you, for your day-to-day? I know I feel frustrated in a lot of ways. So what our forefathers understood is when you have a government that's no longer listening to you, we need to give some type of apparatus for the people to be able to make a change to that. Something that's structured, something that's safe, something that has high thresholds, so that you can't just willy-nilly do something and have it destroy the framework of what we have. There's just nothing wrong with the framework. It's just trying to get back to following some of those things. And that's what this Article 5 option does for the common man, for us as people. And, rather than have me rattle on, let me just see if I can pull this up again. And, oops, didn't want to quite start that just yet, just trying to get it into position again. Let's see if I can. I apologize. I need to reload this particular, there we go. Reload this particular video so that you can actually enjoy it and hear it. But, listen to somebody walk through this that's a little bit better versed at it than I am. Let me play this video for you about the Article 5 Convention of States with an explanation from the actual website itself.
The United States Constitution was written to form a more perfect union that would enable checks and balances to prevent a bloody revolution from being a necessary measure to abolish tyranny. Excellent though it was, Colonel George Mason feared the national government might one day end in a tyrannical aristocracy. The rights of the people needed to be secured against potential corruption at the national level. One of the solutions the framers decided upon can be found in Article 5, which gives state legislators the authority to call a convention that bypasses federal legislators to amend the Constitution. That gives we the people the opportunity to make some long overdue structural adjustments. Maybe term limits would be a good place to start. Here's how the process works. Citizens request their state legislators to pass a bill called an application, with operative language identical in each state. These legislators of the states then pass the application. Generally, only a simple majority is needed. Congress shall, by law, call a convention of the states as soon as it receives applications from 2/3 of the state legislatures. That's 34 states. Delegates chosen by the state legislatures attend the convention. Each state only gets one vote at the convention, but they can send as many delegates to represent the state as they so choose. Amendments are proposed, debated, and voted upon at the convention. Finally, ratification takes place in the states. Each amendment must be ratified by 3/4 of the states in order to become part of the U.S. Constitution. But what about a runaway convention? Let's get a reality check. Like constitutional law scholar Robert G. Nadelson says, there are far more political and legal constraints on a runaway convention than on a runaway Congress. The convention delegates, also called commissioners, are bound to the will of their state legislatures. If they don't vote as their states demand, they get recalled. You might even get sent to prison. Furthermore, a full 3/4 of the state legislatures, we're talking 38 state legislatures, must ratify each and every amendment in order for it to become part of the U.S. Constitution. Even Alexander Hamilton and Abraham Lincoln, who favored national government, emphasized that Article 5 gives states authority over the national government. Hamilton writes that national rulers have no option upon the subject. The words of Article 5 are peremptory. The Congress shall call a convention. And Lincoln says the convention mode seems preferable in that it allows amendments to originate with the people themselves. Article 5 Convention of the States is a safe route to stopping federal overreach. Civilizations rise and fall. Let's be a civilization that saw the cycle of collapse coming and broke it.
Well, I don't know about you, but that certainly gives me all kinds of warm fuzzies with the idea that, maybe somebody at the federal level, through enacting an Article 5 convention, would, perhaps have to listen to us, not have much of a choice because it is part of our Constitution. It is built into that. It is a way for us to effect change and stop what it is that seems to be a runaway government. So, after watching that, you might probably say to yourself, okay, Gary, that sounds great. Well, if I'm interested, it sounds good. What do I do? Well, here's one thing you can do. I'm going to, as I always do with the podcast, I'm going to post the link to the Convention of States website. So you can go to the national page, and you can fill out information there with your name and email address and that type of thing. And if you so choose at that time, you can sign the petition for having an Article 5 Convention of States. While you're at the website, you can certainly check into it more. So there's other resources there to answer questions that you may have. Or, like you said, you can go ahead and fill out the information, give them your email address, sign the petition that you think this would be a good idea. And through the national website, that will filter back down to the local level. And somebody would reach out to you and perhaps answer some questions or see if you'd like to attend a local meeting. Now, if you want to just dabble your feet a little bit more, even before you get into all of that, Rochester has a meeting once a month, organized by a local woman that is on top of all of this. So we have an Article 5 Convention of States meeting right now happening at the Foley Center once a month here in Rochester. So anybody in the area, anybody within the state that's aware of this, that would like to attend this, you can do so. So if you want to, after this, you can certainly reach out to me. You can go to my personal Facebook page at Gary A. Barabo, or you can go to the Restoring Main Street page and reach out to me that way. In either case, you reach out to me, I can certainly let you know when the next meeting will be, because I've been attending the last few meetings. For the last 3 months or so, I've been attending the local meetings at the Foley Center, which only lasts an hour, from 7 to 8, once a month. And you can learn more, you can understand better, and see for yourself if it's something you want to support. But if you just listening to that video, if that didn't prompt an interest in you, like I said, at least we have a tool. At least you have something you can do. You don't have to sit on your hands. You don't have to feel like it's an overwhelming onslaught of things that you just cannot change. This is something you can do, to affect the federal level, along with doing the things that I would suggest you do at a local level. But this is certainly a start. So that's all this is dedicated to tonight. This is the entirety of my podcast tonight. I am trying to just invoke you to action, to consider looking into this, to check out an Article 5 meeting here locally, and get the information that you feel like you may need, but get more comfortable with this idea and have your questions answered. That's it. If you feel as helpless sometimes as I do, when I found this was something that was very encouraging to me. That's why I got involved. So that's why I'm encouraging each of you out there to consider getting involved. So, like I said, you can reach out to me, or you can go to the national website and go through the filling out the information there, and somebody will reach out to you. Either way, I would encourage you to check this out, because you don't have to sit on the sidelines. You can affect change, and we have a goal. Right now, 19 states have signed on and voted yes to have an Article 5 convention. We need 34. So what would getting involved here in New Hampshire mean? It would mean the next time a discussion of Article 5 comes up in Concord to us at our state legislature, it would be actually speaking with representatives and encouraging them, both houses, to vote yes, so that we have a yes vote for the state of New Hampshire, that yes, we are interested in an Article 5 convention of states. I would love to see us be number 20 added to this list of states that are looking to reach this goal of 34 states in order to call a convention. So that's where I'm going to leave that right there. I'm trying to give you hope. That's my little bit of hope. So if I can take care of some business here, if you haven't purchased all your Christmas gifts and you want to consider going to Amazon or Barnes & Noble and looking up the North Country Chronicles, Poetry and Prose from the Granite State. You have to type all of that in, but if you do that, it will pop up on both of those websites, and you can order a copy of my poetry to give as a gift. Just an option. It's a way you can support me, and I truly appreciate it. Again, I'd like to at least share with you a couple of the people and places, individuals on Facebook and other places that actually support me. And one of those is my friend Gene Vallee in Coffee News Rochester. If you're watching this and local, go on to Facebook and go to Coffee News Rochester. Anything that's happening locally, so that you can stay involved and informed. That information, you will find it there at Coffee News. And, maybe post a message to Gene. Let him know that Gary from Restoring Main Street sent you there. Fantastic guy, fantastic website, and I appreciate everything that he does for me in promoting this program. Also, They are no longer a Rochester-based business, but they do live here locally, and they haven't moved that far away. Their store location has moved out to Lafayette Road. These are my friends at Metalheads. That's the name of the shop. Or if you're finding them online, it's metalheadsrock.com. You can go there, and for all of you people that enjoy heavy metal, you can find all the T-shirts, sweatshirts, swag, anything that you can think of related to your favorite band. You can find it there. Along with they support the horror genre, so you can find your Jasons and Freddy Kruegers and that type of T-shirts and sweatshirts and that type of stuff there as well. But if it rocks, you will find it at metalheadsrock.com. Okay, so like I said, that's it. Try to keep it short and sweet this time around. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a safe and happy New Year. Not sure if I'm going to get another one of these in before the end of the year. I'd like to, but if I don't, like I said, that's my well wishes for you for the holidays. And as always, you can find us, this particular podcast, on GabTV. You can find it on Rumble. You can find it on BitCHUTE. I do post it to YouTube, and until at some point I say something they don't like and I get banned. But, for now, you can find me at all of those places. I do also have presence in a lot of the social media platforms with MeWe, Gab, Getter, Instagram, Parler, True Social. You can find me there as well. So I would appreciate any support you can show me. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Share this with a friend. That's how this message expands. That's how I gather more followers. So that when I share information with you, it's having a larger impact to all of you out there. And that's who I'm doing this for, is all of you out there. So if you appreciate this, I would appreciate your support. So as always, what I'd like to do is leave you the same way that I always do. And that's with the very important idea of God, freedom, and family. And at this time of the year, when we're growing towards the end of the year and appreciating all that we've accomplished and where we are as the year ends, if we can't preserve and stay in line with God and preserve our freedoms, our families are doomed. So once again, thanks for listening. And until next time, God bless.